What if I told you that the delay in your life isn't a denial, but a divine timing? What if those moments of waiting aren't because God has forgotten you, but because He's preparing something far greater than you ever imagined? Every season of your life, whether filled with the laughter of joy or marked by the silence of sorrow, is part of a story written by the hands of a timeless God. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you'll see that what you're going through right now has a purpose, and the timing of your breakthrough is not random, it's holy. We often think of time as something that just happens to us, something we have little control over. Even the spaces in between, the silences and the pauses, they all have a purpose. But remember this, God doesn't operate on our schedule. But through it all, He held on to His faith and His purpose. And when the time was right, God elevated him from prison to the palace. In an instant, Joseph went from being a prisoner to being the ruler of Egypt. Yet when she entered the field to glean wheat, she met Boaz, a wealthy landowner who treated her with kindness. Through a series of events orchestrated by God, Ruth eventually became part of Boaz's family, leading her to the famous line, "For she conceived and gave birth to a son." And the women said, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer, and let His name be renowned in Israel." This phrase reminds us to trust in God's timing, knowing that everything happens according to His divine plan. It's easy to doubt God's timing when we're facing challenges or experiencing delays. But remember, God sees the bigger picture and knows what is best for us, even if we don't fully understand it. Learning to walk in God's timing involves surrendering our own desires and plans to God's will. It means accepting that things may not happen on our schedule, but that God's timing is always perfect. Trusting in God's perfect timing can bring peace and assurance during difficult times. Instead of worrying about the future, we can find comfort in knowing that God is in control and that everything will work out according to His plan. Ruth 4, verse 14. In this narrative, each season played a part in Ruth's journey. These transitions, whether positive or negative, can be life-changing events that shape our future. For example, graduating from school, getting married, or starting a new job can open doors to new opportunities and experiences. On the other hand, events like losing a loved one, facing illness, or experiencing financial loss can challenge us and force us to adapt. Transitions can be exciting, but they can also be daunting. During these times, it's important to seek God's guidance and lean on your faith for support. Remember, God is with you in the transition, just as He was with Joseph in her initial season of uncertainty led her to the field where she met Boaz, initiating the season of connection and kindness. This phase opened the door to the season of family and lineage, culminating in the birth of Obed, the grandfather of King David. So, just as Ruth navigated these transitions gracefully, learning to recognize and embrace the season you in can lead you to your own blessings and fulfillments. Similarly, your season of waiting could be the very time when God is preparing you for your own elevation. He provides sustenance, support, and strength during our waiting periods. However, this practice can lead to discouragement and dissatisfaction. Each individual has a unique timeline set by God, so comparing your chapters with someone else's verses is unfair and inaccurate. Instead, stay focused on your own path. Celebrate your accomplishments, learn from your setbacks, and keep moving forward. Embrace the beauty of your unique journey and trust that God is working in perfect harmony to orchestrate your story. For instance, when Joseph was imprisoned, he received visits from the butler and baker, which provided him with food and companionship. Similarly, during times of waiting in your life, reach out to friends, family, or your community for support. Lean on their strength when you feel weak and draw wisdom from their experiences. Remember, waiting doesn't mean being alone. His ways are higher than ours, and his timeline is perfect. It's easy to start questioning, doubting, or even losing sight of our goals when the finish line seems distant or unclear. Recognizing whether it's a season of planting, growth, harvesting, or preparation allows you to align your actions with God's plan for you. For instance, trying to plant seeds when it's a season of growth can hinder your progress. Similarly, attempting to harvest when it's a time of planting can lead to disappointment. However, remember this: clear focus is not the absence of questions or doubts, but rather the choice to keep moving forward despite them. The Bible encourages us to fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. In other words, keep your gaze fixed on your purpose and keep taking steps towards it, no matter how small those steps might seem. Ask yourself, what small step can I take today that will move me closer to my goal? Maybe it is reading one page of that book you've been putting off, or reaching out to that person you need to connect with. Break down your larger goals into smaller, achievable tasks and celebrate the small victories. The Bible says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is God's purpose that will stand." Proverbs 19:21. Your waiting period is not a waste. It is a preparation for what lies ahead. This truth can bring us comfort in times of trouble, assurance in times of uncertainty, and hope in times of waiting. It's a truth that grounds us in the knowledge that no matter what we face, we are not alone. But the Bible reminds us that time is not merely a tick-tock on the clock. It is a divine orchestration. Time and season belong to God. You water it, you care for it, but there is no immediate sprout. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and still there is no sign of growth. Discouragement might set in. You might question your abilities, wonder if the soil is right, or even consider discarding the seed altogether. But what if I told you that during this period of seeming inactivity, the seed is undergoing a profound transformation? Its roots are delving deep into the soil, anchoring it firmly, drawing nourishment from hidden sources of fertility. Just as the farmer cannot force the seed to sprout, you cannot rush the growth of your dreams. It's a waiting game, but it's not a waiting in vain. The Bible assures us that the season of harvest will come, and when it does, the abundance of your efforts will be revealed. But for now, trust in the process. Let patience be your companion and faith your guide. The time for reaping is on its way. He is the composer, and every moment is a note in the symphony of our lives. The first thing you should do when you feel stuck in time is realize that time itself is God's creation. Nothing occurs by mere chance. Everything has been meticulously planned. Imagine this: you're planting a seed in the garden of your life. When life seems to be in a holding pattern, it can be hard to hold on to hope. Joseph, for example, had big dreams, but his path to success was not linear. He faced betrayal, imprisonment, and false accusations. One of the toughest challenges we face is staying focused amidst prolonged waiting. Learning to discern the season you're in is a crucial skill for navigating life successfully. Take the story of Ruth, for example. She found herself in a foreign land after her mother-in-law's death, unsure of what to do next. While waiting can be challenging, it's important to remember that God never leaves us empty-handed. It's common for us to compare ourselves and our journeys with others, especially in today's fast-paced world where everyone seems to be ahead. God is never early. He is always perfectly on time. Have you ever experienced a significant change in your life that completely shifted your direction